Laura Elmore, owner of Global Dream Vacations, and if you haven't guessed, I've got on my mouse ears today. We're talking about Disney, specifically Disney cruises. I am totally excited because I have just recently booked a Disney cruise for my 4-year-old grandson and I. This will be the first time I've had the opportunity to take a Disney cruise with a toddler, with a young child, and I am really excited. This is kind of a last minute decision on our part because it just worked out that we could do this. But let's talk for a little bit about planning ahead and planning a Disney cruise so that you get the best opportunities and options available. Disney is obviously wonderful for a family experience. They have a lot of onboard activities ranging from ages 3 to 16. They have children's activities that are included in the cruise. And of course, this is Disney. So it's going to include Toy Story and Mickey Mouse and all of their favorite Disney characters. Now, it's going to vary a little bit from one ship to another. Disney has 4 different ships in its fleet right now and is in the process of preparing to add 2 more ships to its fleet in the next couple of years because it has become so popular. Which again comes back to my first point in looking at a Disney cruise is try to plan ahead if at all possible. A year is not too much to plan appropriately for a Disney cruise in order to get the itinerary you want, the rooms that you want, the dining and character experiences. All of those are done in a rollout of time frame. And I'm going to cover a little bit of that today, and then we'll have some more cruising with Disney videos coming up about some of the more specifics. But in looking at choosing the options, Disney has everything from 3-day to 7-day trips from the North American continent. They also have, at certain times, they offer Alaska and even Europe. So there is a wide diversity of options. And that depends upon your individual family circumstances, whether you want to do a 3-day cruise or you want to do a 7-night cruise. There's pros and cons to each. The shorter cruises, the 3- and 4-night cruises, you also have the opportunity, you can combine them with a resort stay. For example, if you want to do a 3-night cruise to the Bahamas, you can tack on 4 nights at the resort before or after. And by combining the packages, Disney will assist in your transportation between the airport, the ship, and the resorts and the airport. And that's a huge convenience and makes it a more seamless experience for everyone involved. And for first-time cruisers, sometimes this is a great option because it allows you to get a taste for cruising, to determine if this is something that appeals to you and your family. Typically, a 3- or 4-night cruise is going to be to the Bahamas and include Disney's Castaway Cay. It is a private island that they own, and the entire island is devoted to various activities, excursions, water experiences, kids and adult-only areas, food, and even spa services that are available on this private island. Everyone that I know that has done Castaway Cay has said it's one of their favorite stops on any cruise. It's a great way to experience Disney for a full day while at sea. Now, most of the Disney cruises are going to include a couple of days at sea, depending upon the length of the cruise. It may be just 1 day at sea. It may be For example, the cruise my grandson and I are doing, we're going to have 3 days at sea scattered between the ports. And sea days are fabulous because it means you're not getting off the ship, you're not stopping at a port, you're just relaxing and enjoying the ship and the various activities it offers. Again, in looking at the itinerary you want to consider for your family, factor that in. Cruises are a wonderful way to see multiple destinations without having to pack and unpack. The other aspect of that is you're typically going to be a little more on the go because you're going to want to get off the ship at each of the ports where you stop and experience that location. Sea days are the most relaxing days because you're not on a schedule to get off the ship at a certain time and get back on the ship at a certain time. You have the whole day to experience the ship and the diversity of features that it offers. Take that into consideration in looking at the itinerary to select for your family. Now, Disney is not just for young children. There are multiple activities that are also available for tweens and teens. They have a separate club for the tweens and teens so that they have activities that are geared to their age groups and have the opportunity for them to interact with other young people of their own age. So it is not something I would discount for kids who are above 12. Some of the cruises that Disney offers actually include Star Wars features or Marvel superheroes. Again, those are great options for a little bit older kids, tweens and teens, because those are typically things that are of great interest to them. Another factor to consider in looking at the cruise itineraries, because not all cruises include those features. If that's a priority to you, be sure and make note of that to the travel agent you're working with so they can be sure and narrow in your options to just the cruises that will include those features. Now, in selecting your itinerary, as I said, you're looking at the number of nights that you're going to be on board the ship. Also, if there's any special occasions, Halloween, the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Disney has special features and things that are included to celebrate those holidays within a certain time frame around the holidays. Again, factor those decisions into the discussion with your travel agent so you can look at the right opportunities. Now, once you've narrowed down the options of where you think you want to go and the length of time, then looking at when to go is also going to be another factor to consider. Now, obviously, peak travel season for any family vacations is June 1 through the middle of August. And if you can possibly stay away from those dates, I would encourage you to do so, only because the ships are going to be at high capacity at those time frames. Another time that sometimes is surprising to people that are heavily traveled are holidays. Some people ask about doing a Christmas or New Year's trip because they think, oh, everybody's staying home. It'll be less expensive. No. Actually, it is the most heavily traveled time, especially to warm climates. Holidays, in fact, many destinations have a minimum number of nights that if you're staying at a resort or a condo. Disney has some wonderful cruise opportunities during the holidays. Just be forewarned that typically it's going to cost a little more, but you're going to have the joy and the pleasure of all of the extras that they add to the holidays. Now, once you've selected the itinerary, the probable dates that you're going to go, next decision is going to be rooms. There are wonderful opportunities with Disney, more so than some other cruise lines. Again, they're family oriented, so they realize that there's more potential for there to be families traveling with 5 needing a room. Many cruise lines do not offer capacity of 5 to a room. Disney does in certain room categories. In looking at the room options that you have, first consideration is how many do you need to a room? Secondly, if you look at one of our other videos that's about cruising in general, you're going to have a few different types of rooms. An inside room, an ocean view room, an ocean view with veranda. Ocean view with veranda is, frankly, hands down the most popular room. It is the rooms that allow you not only the space in the room, but you have your own private view of the world from that private veranda. And whether it's having a cup of coffee or continental breakfast on that balcony, or relaxing in the evening before dinner, even reading and chilling out while your kids are taking a quick nap in the afternoon. That balcony becomes your own private view to the sights that you're seeing. It's one of my favorite places on board any ship. So look at that as a possibility. Inside rooms are the least expensive, and the ocean view with veranda are the most expensive. Your agent can help you look at the pros and cons of the different room options and determine what is going to work best for your family, not only from a space configuration, but in looking at where on the ship you'll be placed. That's another key feature. Some room categories are in the less desirable locations of the ship. They're going to be on the lowest points, or they're maybe going to have obstructed view that you're going to be looking out at the ocean between some lifeboats. So again, factors to consider, factors to discuss with your agent, and know what you're getting. Now, there's 2 options in a room selection, and again, I cover this more in detail on our cruising in general video, but there is what's called a guarantee, which means you are not selecting a specific room. It'll be assigned to you, maybe even as late as the day that you arrive at the pier. Or you can select a specific room. Typically, a guarantee is going to be a little bit less expensive. Disney is going to give you a little bit of a lesser price because of your flexibility of not knowing your room. Now, the drawback is you're not certain where you're going to be, and potentially you may be in some of the less desirable locations. It again is a factor to discuss with your agent and determine what's going to fit best for your family, especially when you have multiple people, multiple rooms traveling together. A guarantee is not really a good option typically, because you could potentially be completely separate on the ship. Now, in looking at the itinerary, the dates, selecting your room category, and then selecting your room location, placing a deposit, there's still some other steps to consider in planning for Disney. Among those are going to be looking at your dining, looking at your excursions, also the character experiences. These are things that book within certain time frames of selecting a Disney cruise. So in looking at those, Once the deposit is placed on your cruise, you're kind of on a countdown of when these different factors can happen. There's a few things you can do in advance immediately. Among them, register your children for the Oceaneers Club or for EDGE, the teen program. Registering them in advance assures that their space is there. It also is going to save a lot of time and effort at the day of boarding because all of those details are filled out. Now, Disney is a little unique from many other cruise lines that they're a little more in depth about the requirements for registering your children for their kids program. And frankly, it's one of the things I appreciate about Disney when you're dealing with children, especially younger children. For example, in registering my grandson, they wanted to know any special dietary concerns, any medications that he's on routinely. They also required me to register specifically who is allowed to pick him up from the kids club, and most specifically, there is a private password that we have registered that is specific to our grandson and myself and my other family member that will be traveling with us. And in order to check him out of the kids club, we have to be able to give them that password. And I appreciate that they go to those links of security to assure that there's never a situation in which a child is checked out by the wrong person. These are things that, again, if you do up front at the time that you have completed your payment on your cruise, it will allow you to save time getting on board. Register everyone with their names, their passport information. If you want to have ground transfers, if you're flying to the cruise port, then Disney offers a service that you can utilize, their Magical Express, and that means that when you get off the airplane and get your luggage, they will get you to a bus that will get you to the pier, and you can do the same on the end of the cruise, that they will get you back to the airport in a timely manner. It makes for a seamless experience and means it's one less thing that you're thinking about. Plus, the Disney buses have Mickey Mouse on them, and they have videos playing that tell you a little bit about the experience you're going to have. So from the moment you get on board that bus, they're starting the excitement of preparing you for that cruise. We'll have another video coming up. Please check it out about next steps on your Disney cruise, how to continue the planning process to get the maximum out of it. I'm Laura Elmore with Global Dream Vacations, and we look forward to helping you enjoy the magic of Disney at sea.